As Bradley Beal is coming out of this double staggered screen, he is wide open and you can already book this three. The guy shot 42% from the corners last season and is one of the most well-known shooters in the NBA. However, he was only 33.8% from the other 3-point spots, which is just average and sounds weird for such a great shooter. So why is that the case, and why did he just sign a 2-year extension when literally the entire league was fighting for him? Let me try to break things down for you. What up everybody, my name is Stefan and this is Heat Check. Let's get into it. Yes, the first thing that comes to mind when you talk about Bradley is shooting, but he is so much more than that. Check out this comparison. James Harden, who is known as one of the best and most frequent guard finishers at the rim, had almost the same number of attempts from the restricted area, but look at how much better Beal is in terms of his efficiency when going to the basket. And I bet you would never think of him when talking about guards who are proficient at attacking the rim. Beal does this exceptionally well. Also, I recently showed in a video that he led the league last year in distance ran per game, and this is very important and indicative of the way he plays. This includes attacking inside the paint, constantly moving and running on offense, never being stagnant, and of course being one of the best two-way players in the NBA. He chases the most dangerous opponent on each team night in and night out. That's huge. Okay, let's now talk about shooting. Although the sample size is very limited, Bradley Beal shot 42.2% from the corners last season. This is because a large portion of these came from John Wall's penetrations. As you can see right here, having a speed demon like Wall requires the defense to be ready to help. He attacks and Tucker has to close out under the basket, leaving Beal wide open for this shot. So why not shoot more from there? If it's this simple every time, the Wizards would win the title. But of course, teams are more than willing to back off of Wall and make him beat them with his inconsistent shot. And the Wizards couldn't really allow themselves to have Bradley camped out in the corners too much, for the simple fact that on this Washington roster there isn't any scoring or especially shooting help at all, so he's required to have the ball in his hands the entire time and make things happen for the team. This has especially been the case since John Wall went down with his Achilles injury, so it will pretty much be the same old story this season as well. And when you look at some of these extremely tough bailout shots, it becomes clear how Beal's numbers from 3 sound extremely average. Similar case for the mid-range. 42.6% is not terrible in any way, but watching some of these shots that he had to take, the numbers could be so much better if he had a bit more breathing room and teammates who could really stretch the floor and take the load off of him. And honestly, I justify that he really had to take some of these tough shots. When you look at some of the guys that are with him on the court, he just has to make things happen one way or another. So since they were in the mix for him, imagine if the Heat, for example, were able to get Bradley. The way Jimmy Butler demands attention and attracts double teams, that would open up a ton of shots for Beal. Not to mention playing with LeBron on the Lakers, who also wanted to find a way to trade and bring the Wizards guard in LA. That would have been unstoppable. There are a bunch of teams and scenarios where Bradley Beal would come in and instantly help form a championship contender, but instead he elected to accept the offer to stay where he is. And honestly, it's obvious that he will not be anywhere near close to competing for a championship. He probably won't even make the playoffs with this team. So to me, this almost makes no sense at all. The only 2 reasons for staying that you could somehow justify are these. 1, he was offered to be the face of the franchise and have his legacy with one team and be the guy in Washington and all of that, you get the idea. But 2, check this out. This is a relatively short contract, so in 2022, he would become eligible to receive a supermax extension from the Wizards in the form of 5 years and $266 million. Now that's a lot, an enormous amount of money admittedly, but is it really that simple and kinda silly? The fact that at the end of the day it all comes down to money? I mean, first of all, he could still get a ton of cash if he went to a contender. Maybe not as much as this number, but still a huge contract. And also, it's not like these 266 are guaranteed. Anything can happen in 3 years. So to elect to waste the best years of your career on a team going nowhere just for the possibility to earn more, to me is ridiculous. And I'm not trying to look in anyone's pocket or say what's right or wrong decision to make when it comes to money. I'm just trying to figure out the reason why Bradley Beal decided to stay on a dysfunctional team like the Wizards when he could have easily competed for a championship. So if you have any idea of what to make of this decision, please let me know in the comments. That's it for now. If you like this video, subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss my future in-depth analysis. Talk to you in the next one. Peace out.